You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again. Today, we have another show lined up for y'all today. We're going to talk to our special guest, Edwin Carrion. He is a God-made millionaire. He's doing amazing things. We're going to learn about his story. He has an amazing story. He served with the Marines. I want to say thank you for your service, sir. And first and foremost, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me here.
So, man, let's start out where your story started, man, because you were born in Ecuador, but you were raised by a single mother, and you migrated to the United States at the age of 12 and became an entrepreneur at 14. I mean, you were in a hurry to start making business. So give us the backstory.
The backstory is that, being raised by a single mother from a very humble home, it's not that I was in a hurry to start a business, but I was in a hurry to make money, to have money. So I think that's where the entrepreneurial journey and the business journey starts, when you have the need and not the want for something. And at 14 years old, started washing cars, and that's how I got started in the business.
So when you started to make money and start doing services, what was the mindset like? Were you trying to find people to network with, or were you just learning as you go?
Back then, and I'm 44 years old at this moment, as we speak today, October 2022. So, yes, back then, I had to learn everything on my own because we did not have the same tools and resources that we have today and the access to so much information. So everything that I had to do was learn on my own. And that took a huge learning curve because when you're learning everything on your own, you got to figure out, you have to go through a lot of trials and errors, figure out what works, what doesn't work. There's nobody, there wasn't hey, let me go find a mentor, especially at 14 years old. You don't know what a mentor is. I had no idea what a mentor was back then. I understood what a coach was, what a trainer was, but I had no idea of the notion of mentor. And just learning to speak English because I was coming from another country, that was another hurdle as well. So I had no idea that even existed back then.
So when you came to the United States, what was it like getting into schools and starting the whole educational process? What was your experience with being in the United States, going to school?
Number one, experience was great because coming to this country, I was like, wow, I'm going to... and the thing is that I came to Miami, Florida. So if you know, and the ones that know Miami, it's probably 80% Hispanics and the other 20% Americans are from, there's different cultures in Miami. So going to school at the beginning, I was a little bit worried. Am I going to go to school where everybody speaks English and I don't know English? And then all of a sudden I show up to school and I have the ESL classes where everybody speaks Spanish. So I'm like, oh my God, this is easy. And then when I look at my schedule for the classes, I had Spanish class and I'm like, oh, I'm going to kill it on this class. I'm going to be the best out of it. And then sure enough, everybody spoke Spanish in the class. So it wasn't the fear of going into the unknown was the stressful part. But once I stepped into school, I realized that everybody spoke Spanish and it was easy to get around. That fear went away right away.
And when you progress in school, did you have any idea what you wanted to do after high school? Were you thinking about anything, short-term or long-term as far as your goals, what you want to do in life?
Yes. My goal, I always wanted to be an attorney. That was one of my things. I wanted to become an attorney, a professional. And my other goal was I wanted to be in the military and I wanted to fly jets to become a jet, fighter, pilot. And so those were my goals and some of my dreams at that time, at that moment. And did I become a jet fighter, a pilot? No, I did not become, but I did become a pilot. I am a pilot today. I fly planes for fun, not because I want to or I have to, but because I love to do that. And that is one of my passions. So I had my own plane. But again, I wasn't able to go into the military and become a pilot because my grades weren't good in school because I never paid attention in school. When I was growing up, I was a C, D average student.
once again listening to I'm Refocused Radio, talking to Edwin Carrion. And when you finished your time with the military, with the Marines, what was that transition like? Were you immediately ready to go and get into the business sector, or was it a little process at first?
It was a small process at first, leaving the Marine Corps, and after living 4 years on my own in the military from 18 to 22 years old, traveling the world, I had to leave the Marine Corps because I didn't want to continue in the military. And I had an idea of what I wanted to do, which is I wanted to go finish school, get my bachelor's degree, and then go back into the federal government. But then right after I left the Marine Corps, I went back living into my mom's house. And when you go back to your house to your parents' house after living out of their house for such a long time, and they're telling you, where are you going? What time are you coming back? Did you do this? Did you not do this? Like that freedom part was like taken away from me. So I had to figure out a way of, yes, I love being with my parents, but how do I figure out and I get out of their house right away? And that's when I started my development company. And starting the development company, yeah, it was a little bit of fear because I had no idea, no knowledge what to do. And being in the military, you get a paycheck twice a month. On the 15th, under the 1st, the money is deposited into your bank account. You have a place to live on your own. Now I'm living in my parents' house, trying to figure out business, trying to figure out how to build because I had no idea how to build. I didn't have a mentor. And it was a little bit of a struggle again. But the good thing is where we as humans succeed is when we put ourselves in uncomfortable situations, because now we have to survive. So when we get comfortable is when we start dying, when we don't continue moving ahead in life because we get in the comfort zone. And I was in the comfort zone when I was in the military. And it's so amazing that you asked this question today because I never looked at it that way as I'm looking at it right now talking to you. And what really helped me propel and excel in the business that I started was that need for survival, that need to continue getting out of there, and that need to find success at an early age.
And a lot of things, a lot of things that you did is very impressive, from development, design, organization, legal, financial, marketing, capital, financing, strategic negotiations. I mean, were there books in play that kind of help you as well? Because I remember you mentioned about the school part, but man, with your success, you gotta have some kind of resource.
Yes, eventually there was a lot of resources. The first resource was hanging around with the right people, building the right network of people where I could start using them as mentors, where I could start seeing what they're doing and taking their knowledge. But then eventually, going bankrupt was a huge, one of my biggest lessons in life of what not to do and what I wanted to do in life. And then from there on, investing in myself, and then really going to a lot of conferences, going to a lot of events, hiring the right mentors, hiring the right people, and investing in myself, because I realized that a lot of people invest a lot of money in other things. A lot of people invest a lot of money in business. A lot of people invest a lot of money in buying nice clothes and buying nice shoes and buying nice cars. But the one thing people don't want to do and don't like to do is invest in themselves. And the things that I noticed that the moment that I started investing in myself is that's exactly where I see my biggest return on investment. The moment that I really started investing in myself, hiring the right mentor, hiring the right people to help me level up, I started seeing some amazing returns on investment.
And speaking of level up, you spend part of your time today inspiring others and helping them to really go to the next level with their mindset and with their skill set, being an entrepreneur and being in the business sector. What is some of the strategies that you try to take when you're coaching people so that it's not rocket science, but at the same time is kind of clear steps that they can take?
Yes, I mean, the first one that I do, it's a big one. It's mindset, is believing, having faith in yourself, and it's having that faith, having the mindset that you are going to succeed. And also leveling up on the mindset, because if we're afraid of investing $10,000 on a mentor, we're afraid of investing $10,000 in advertising, how do we expect to have $100,000 worth of revenues, or how do we expect to for our net worth to increase? So meaning is getting detached from the money mindset, from the looking at the numbers mindset, and getting more concerned into, you know what, I'm investing in myself and I'm going to see a return on investment, whether it's financially or not, because some of the mentors that I invest a lot of money in that I paid, those I get different type of return on investment. And the return on investment is self-growth. Growth meaning that I become a better husband, I become a better father, I become a better person, a better giver in life. And those you cannot put a value to them, but the return on investment is great on those. So again, it starts with mindset. It's learning how to change that mindset and that belief that stops us at every point of our lives, because we all have ceilings that we get to a point and we hit some ceilings. Meaning that right now, if you're able to make $100,000 a year, your mindset is set for $100,000 a year. So you need to figure out how to break that ceiling so you could go to the 200 or the 300 or to the $1 million. And then once you get to the $1 million, then you have another ceiling. How do I break the $1 million to go to the $10 million ceilings? And again, it's investing in yourself and hiring the right people to help you break those barriers to move on to the next stage in life.
Once again, listen to I Am Refocused Radio, talking to Edwin Carrion. And now, was there a point any time in your life before you saw all the success you have currently? Did you have any point in your life where you had any doubt, any question like, man, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to be successful? Am I going to be able to scale up businesses? Did you ever experience that?
Yes, of course. There's plenty of times. And the biggest one, like I mentioned a minute ago, was when I went bankrupt. So when I went bankrupt, to me, that was a huge failure, especially after growing a company in such a young age, from 22 to 27 years old, growing a company to over $20 million in assets, and then going bankrupt, losing it all. I thought I was like the biggest loser in life. I'm like, you know what? I'm never going to make it again. I lost all this money. I'm a failure. I'm a loser. I don't know how to run a business I thought I knew how to do. And that's when I really started looking at life differently, and the things that I wanted to, and the things that I was perceiving, and my purpose in life. And the moment that I realized that I went through all those struggles, I was down for like about a year, 6 months to a year, like kind of just doing things that I didn't want to do, working for other people, doing other odd jobs in order to kind of get back on top, until I realized what my purpose was. And the moment that I realized that, and I changed the mindset on that, the opportunity came around. And in 2 years, I was back on top again, making millions and only working 5 hours a week.
And with your mom and military, how did those two opportunities in your life and resources in your life, what was some core values that they implemented into you that helped you along the way?
Yeah, they implemented amazing core values. My mom, she's my biggest motivator, my biggest fan. She's the person that believed in me since the beginning. And every time I told her a crazy idea or a crazy business that I wanted to do, she was there for me. She was there to support me. She was my first investor as well. And the values that she said in me at a young age is always keep your word, because your word means everything. Don't quit, and keep going through. So those values got reinforced when I was in the military, in the Marines, because the Marines' core values are honor, courage, and commitment. So the honor ties into what my mother taught me, which is always keep your word. I mean, become an honorable person, become a man of honor. Courage means don't give up, don't quit. So that ties into the courage of never giving up, never quitting, always doing everything else. And then the commitment part is that when you start something, continue doing it. And she taught me those values, and those values got really reinforced in the military. And once they got really reinforced, those are the values that I live my life with: honor, courage, and commitment.
And with the people that you are helping today, you have a private Facebook group, and it's I believe it's called Startup to Millions. When you have people in this group, what's the first thing that you try to make sure that they understand to make sure that they're a good fit in this group?
Yeah, the first thing is we live by a set of values and beliefs. So to me, God is number one in my life. And I try to make sure that whether you believe in Buddha, you believe in something, you have a faith, you have a higher power belief, because that is the one thing that is going to get us through anything else. So always making sure that the people that are part of my group share my same values and beliefs, and teach them that those values and those beliefs is what is going to set us apart from everyone else, and is what is going to get us to the top faster. And thank God, I've been very blessed that a lot of people in the group, pretty much 99% of the people in the group, share those values and beliefs, and the ones that don't really realize that that's what they were lacking in their life, and now are making that shift and that change in their life in order to figure out that once I put those values and those beliefs in my life, things are going to change for me.
And for an individual listening to this right now, this conversation, in order for someone to live life to the full, based on your personal experience, what has been some keys for you personally that enable you to live your life to the full?
Yeah, in order to live life to the fullest, the first thing is read my book, 9 Secrets for a Successful Life and Business. And on those secrets, it's pretty much a set of rules, a set of principles, and a set of guides that not only myself, but a lot of my millionaire friends, a lot of the people that I mentor, they live by. And they're very simple secrets. And the secret is have faith, don't give up, don't quit, have a business plan. So if you want to have a fulfilled life, you need to have clarity on what a fulfilled life means to you. So for example, to me, a fulfilled life means that I'm able to accomplish all my childhood dreams, I'm able to live the life that I want, and I'm able to have the time to create amazing experiences with my family. And that's how I live my life to the fullest. So living life to the fullest is very different to every single person, but the most important thing is knowing what you want, having that clarity. And the moment you have clarity and you start applying that clarity into your life, you start having and living life to the fullest.
With the platform that you have a huge platform where you can really impact people's lives. And with your amount of success, what's some of the, not stigma, but what's some of the misconceptions that people have when it comes to actually being successful?
The biggest misconception, and the one that I love a lot, and it brought a lot of attention to me, was when I do a lot of my posts, I always talk about God, I always talk about faith, I always talk about how I'm not a self-made millionaire, how I'm more of a God-made millionaire, because I give the glory to my number one in my life, which is God. And I get a lot of messages, people telling me, it's like, you're so successful and you talk about God. Aren't you afraid of talking about your faith? Aren't you afraid that if you're godly, you can't be successful? So there's a misconception, and there's a lot of people that have put into our heads that, we cannot be who we are, and we cannot have a good belief because we can't be successful, meaning that if you're a Christian or if you believe in God, you cannot be rich. Okay. So those misconceptions are not true. And the reason I say that is because God wants you to have abundance in your life. And the moment that you have abundance in your life, you're able to bless other people as well. So the more abundance that you have in your life, the more people you're able to bless. And we all hear the saying, you can't help other people if you can't help yourself, right? So first it starts with you. You need to help yourself become abundant in all areas in your life, and then you could be the driving force to everyone else.
Once again, listen to I Am Refocused Radio. We're talking to our guest today, Edwin Carrion. And someone listening right now, maybe they just feel like they are stuck in life. They plateau, like maybe they're working hard, they're doing what they're supposed to do, but maybe they just have a negative bent towards life. Generally speaking, what would you tell to that person to help them unleash their fullest potential?
First thing I will say is, what is holding you back from living your life to the fullest? Write down your struggles, because we all share a lot of the same struggles. Failed relationships, failed marriages, betrayals, business partners stealing from me. I had all those struggles growing up, and I had those struggles in my business life and in my personal life. So a lot of us share the same struggles. So it's having that clarity on those struggles and making sure those struggles are not holding you back in order to have your life, and realizing that if we change our life around, if we really want something, what is it that we want? Having that clarity of, do I want to be at the beach every day in my life and go and walk in the ocean every single day, and because you have to go to a 9 to 5 job, you're not able to do that, or because your business is struggling right now, you're not able to do that. So you're going to be miserable over your life. But if you start doing what you dream of, which is going and having a walk on the beach every single day, and you start applying that into your life, and waking up early every morning and going to the beach and walking around on the beach and then going to work from that, your mindset and your life is going to change tremendously, because now you're starting your day off with the right mindset and you're accomplishing your dream of going to the beach every single day.
And with with your experience with the military, do you still today stay involved with people that serve with you, or just in general with veterans?
I do. I have a huge heart for veterans. Again, I was very fortunate enough. I did not go to war, but my brother did, and he's one of my biggest heroes. He went to Iraq, and I will always tell him that he's my biggest hero. So one of the things that I do is I always want to give back to the veteran community. I always want to empower them, and I always want to tell them that they're able to grow. So one of the things that I do is once a year, I take a bunch of veterans, Marines, on a yacht with me to just enjoy the day and realize that life is to be lived to the fullest, meaning that you can have an amazing life. It's just switching the mindset, figuring out what to do, learning how to do it. Because a lot of these veterans, when I take them on, they're so structured. They have they live by the honor, the courage, and the commitment, but they just don't know how to get to the second level. And it goes back again to the thing that I was mentioning at the beginning, is that if you do not invest in yourself, you're never going to see that return on investment, because you're so focused into buying these programs that are going to make you money, but are they teaching you how to look deep within you in order for you to succeed?
I really like that part, because I remember earlier you mentioned about just basically being accountable for what you are wanting to do, and the part of getting up earlier, those small details. How impactful is it creating new habits that will get you in an expanded mindset to help you get to the next level? How important is it to create those habits?
Oh, creating habits is extremely important. Like I always say, repetition is the key to success. The reason I'm very successful in a lot of businesses, and every time I start a new business, it becomes successful, is because I do the same thing over and over and over again. So meaning that repetition is the key to success. So it goes back into the same thing. What kind of habits, daily habits, do you have in your life that are going to take you to achieve success? Do you just run through life and just go through it like that? Or do you have a set of principles that you live by? And it goes back again into, to me, affirmations. I was the person that everybody tells me, you're too serious, Edwin, you're always serious. So I had to change that, the way people looked at me, and I had to look at myself in the mirror every single morning and smile for 1 minute, so I could start working on my facial muscles, and I could have a smile on my face. Even though I was happy on the inside, maybe people didn't see me, the full happiness and the fulfillment that I have within me. So I had to teach myself to look at myself in the mirror and smile for 1 minute, just hold a smile for 1 minute, so I could work on those muscles. So the brain is the same way. We as humans are the same way. So we have to work on the things that we want to change, so they could become, instead of being a habit, it becomes part of your life.
I like that. Yeah. Habit is key. Now, before we let you go, I want to pitch it again. You have a Facebook group that people can be a part of, Startup to Millions. What's some of the requirements a person should consider before they read the requirements to know what it takes to join?
Yeah, Startup to Millions is a free community where anybody that wants to start a business or started a business and wants to scale to the millions could join. It's free for now, so we're not charging a membership or anything like that. And all I want is people to be there of service and of value. So meaning that if you want to learn about something, if you want to learn how to scale your business, join the group. There's plenty of other successful entrepreneurs there that are going to help you if you post questions in there. The second thing is, if you have a successful business, if you're a person of value and want to continue growing in another area of your life, whether it's relationship or personal, then join the group, so like that you could share your value in business and you could gain value in personal and relationship wise. Because again, we have to grow as a whole. And to me, it's, living life to the fullest is being successful in all areas of your life. Because what happens with a lot of successful entrepreneurs, they're successful in business, but they lack in all areas of their life. So to me, it's bringing awareness and making everyone know that in order to live a fulfilled life, you need to be successful in all areas of your life.
Once again, you've been listening to I Am Refocused Radio, and today we've been talking to Edwin Carrion. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for taking time in your schedule, man, talking to us today. And what's the best way people can reach you if they wanted to reach out?
Yes, thank you for having me here, and thank you to everyone listening. I appreciate the time. And the best way to reach me is through my social media channels, Edwin Carrion 78. And if that's too hard to remember, just go to my website, edwincarrion.com, and all my social media links are there.
Once again, true honor talking to our guest today, Edwin Carrion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.